literally translates to staging or putting on an action or scene according to Richard Barzam's Looking at Movies. Meaning, mise-en-scène is what people hear, see, and experience when they are watching a movie. In Babe, Pig in the City, it is a spin-off of the 1995 movie Babe. It was directed and co-written by George Miller. In the story, Babe accidentally pushes his owner and best friend, Arthur, down the farm's well. Arthur survives, but is badly injured and can't do work around the farm. When his wife starts to pick up more of the farm work, she quickly falls behind, and men from the bank alert her that she and her husband will lose the farm unless they come up with a lot of money soon. So, she and Babe go off to get some prize money that was offered if Babe made an appearance at the town's county fair. But some things got mixed up along the way, and they became trapped in a big city for a couple of days until the next plane was heading back home. George Miller has directed Babe, Pig in the City along with the Happy Feet movies, meaning he is pretty experienced when it comes to telling a story through the perspective of an animal. With this, we learn that his framing for Babe, Pig in the City is a lot more deliberate than one would assume at first glance. Miller demonstrates the usage of a closed framing, meaning that he follows his characters and that off-screen space is not relevant to the story, and all that we need to know will be present on the screen. Miller comments once in an interview, "I think that they have two things in common. One is very conscious, which is to tell the best story you can, and the second one, I guess, really, without understanding why, is that I like telling stories and basically follow the hero myth. It just happens unconsciously," he said in an interview with Fred Topple. This interview helped explain why he is constantly portraying such dark and negative settings just to put a hero in it, like in Happy Feet, with Mumble being exiled and eventually finding his way into a zoo, or Babe being isolated from his owners and being lost in the city. As the film is being watched, there's a notable difference on how the city and the farm are portrayed differently. The farm is always filmed in bright, warm colors that make the viewer feel safe and as if it is its own world. Babe is surrounded by his friends and family and in a calm, quiet place that's always shown in the bright daylight. While the city is full of dark and dim colors, Babe is isolated from most of his loved ones, while he is surrounded with the loud noises and constant hustle and bustle of the city in the dark of night. To portray the contrast of these two settings, Miller uses the design elements of mise-en-scène. The element of design includes various aspects like costumes, settings, props, lighting, sounds, etc. While costume must have been particularly difficult in this instance, due to most of the characters being animals, he still does an amazing job by using the family of apes, including an orangutan named Thelonious. Thelonious, who was elaborately dressed in his suspenders and a nice jacket, was obsessed with constantly having the clothes his old master had forced him to wear. Even when they were escaping from the animal control, he refused to leave without putting on his clothes, unlike the other chimpanzees he had worked and lived with, who didn't think twice about going out without their costumes on. This is such a contrast compared to all the other animals on the farm, who will likely never wear any type of human clothes in their life. Not to mention, Miller always has the sounds of the city going on in the background, while most of the sounds you hear at the farm are other animals directly addressing or celebrating Babe's return. With the mise-en-scène obviously painting the city as an evil space compared to the farm, it is because the film is mostly through the perspective of Babe himself, meaning anything beyond the farm was always going to be considered hazardous or scary to Babe. The farm is made to be a safe haven. This idea is confirmed with the ending of the film having all the animals from the city being rescued and taken in by Arthur and his wife.